How close do you think Villa are? Because I saw that graphic and Villa look like the only ones that are in the red. So where are we at?
Well, we don't know the wages for 24-25. There's lots of people saying, oh, yeah, I'm in the know, but I don't know how much individual players are getting as bonuses for qualifying for the Champions League next season. We don't know how much the new players are getting in. We don't know how much additional revenue. But I think there is a general perception that potentially that if they perhaps need to get one player out of the door by the 30th of June. And if that books somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 million pounds, then they're clear. So that's sort of the good news. As far as 25-26 is concerned, again, it's sort of streamlining the wage bill. You've got some players who will be out of contract, make wee savings there. There will be a reset in terms of wages because you get less for qualifying for the Europa League if you're a player than compared to the Champions League, and that's because the Champions League is where the money's at. So I think that there has to be a little bit of a reset. But can Aston Villa sign players? Yes, they can. Can they spend £250 million on players? People say, well, yeah, Villa have never spent that before. Yeah, they spent £204 million in 21-22. They spent £156 million in 29-20. They spent £168 million in 23-24. So Villa have been spending big money. Can they match that this season? Perhaps not. But there's also a case for saying, well, hold on. Villa have bought so well in recent years that perhaps they don't need to spend those huge levels on players, especially if they use the loan market successfully, and also if they rely on the fact that they've got players who are coming through who have got 1 more year's further experience. The manager's developing those players, and on the back of that, they can be successful.
So would you say this model that we've got isn't sustainable long term? We're doing well to navigate sort of the current situation.
Yeah, I think, Villa have punched above their weight. They've invested incredibly well. They were promoted with a squad that cost £120 million in 2018-19. That squad now, you add all of the players together, it's well over £500 million, probably somewhere to the region of 600 million. And that sounds like a lot of money, but then Chelsea have got a squad that have cost 1.5 billion. City's squad probably around about 1.3.